PhD Mafia, how are you? It's your queen, Hazel Dior. I don't even know how the heck I'm doing this video, you guys. Not feeling well. I had my tooth pulled earlier at the dentist. I want to talk about how has being in a relationship impacted me as an escort, as a businesswoman, as a service provider. Well, you guys know from like past videos, I always said that I was not looking for a lover. I was not looking for a man. I didn't want one. Deep down inside, yes, I would like to, but I had no plans on getting involved with anybody in the business, like at all. Like deep down inside, I wanted it, but I was not going to let it happen. So, someone came along. Things has transcended so much more than I even thought, you know? It impacted me a lot, especially in the beginning, because I feel like I was doing something wrong, dealing with a lot of other men. But it's two different situations with the companionship and with him. So it really bothered me in the beginning. I felt like, which is a messed up feeling, and that's one of a few reasons why I didn't want to be involved with anybody, because I didn't want to feel that way. I started feeling so guilty. How can I take them serious if I'm in a bit? How can they take me serious? You know, it was all of that type of stuff going on, and I'm like, oh my God, I did not want it to be like this. And then I started going into the stage of suppressing myself. I started holding back myself, holding back my confidence got in a way. You know, it's back now, but for a little while, I didn't feel like I was there. I felt like I had to suppress myself from being the entertainer and just being open-minded and just super free. It held me back. It put me in that wedge of suppression. In the future, you know, we're good. Do he like me with other people? No. Nobody, no man that's in a relationship with a woman or in a relationship, they don't want their partner. He accepts, and he have to accept, because this is how I'm living my life, you know. Even though it works both ways, but he come into, you know, kind of like my life, so he got to kind of move around that. And when, you know, in the beginning, I wasn't looking. That's what I meant to say. I wasn't looking. So I accepted that fact, like, well, they already know. You know, it's a job for me. It's not a career. It's a job. Like, you go to your 9 to 5, your McDonald's jobs and all of that. It's a job. I worked at them jobs too. I worked at McDonald's right before I became an escort. I worked at a college. I worked at Walmart. I worked at Myers. I worked at like 7 or 8 different factories. I worked for several different cleaning companies. I worked at Babies R Us. I worked at Toys R Us. I worked at Michael's Arts and Craft. I worked as a salesperson for this private company. Laziness, that's never been in my blood. That's never been in me. I've always been a grinder, a hustler. I always kept some type of income coming in my whole entire life. I'm not in this business out of habits, because I'm homeless or on the streets, because of fetishes or men and sexual desires. I'm in this directly for money. When I worked at McDonald's, like, I just went there to do my job, and then I come home and I'm me. That's exactly how it is. I know what I want to do. I know what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it. I can deal with this, because I chose to. I have no problem working at a 9 to 5 job. I don't want to do that anymore. I'm past those stages. I graduated from working under people at these corporations. That's what I graduated from. to be independent on my own time frame, doing what Hazel wants, waking up when Hazel wants to on my own schedule, which can come with its pros and cons. Because when you're independent, you can get lazy because you don't have any pressure on you to, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you have to be here at 9 a.m. You don't have no pressure. You can have a lot of leadway. And I'm fine with that because that's who I am. I'm a person of freedom. I've been that way my entire life. I stood for freedom, being you, being the best you. If you want to dress up and be Barney and live your life Barney Playhouse, you better do it, and you better do it well. That's what I stand for, just being independent and being yourself and being confident and truthful in who you say you are and who you are. That is what I stand for. You're going to be a McDonald's worker, do that job well, meaning put in them hours to get you a nice, good paycheck. You know how many times I had to fight and battle myself from being too comfortable, missing thousands and thousands of dollars because I just want to be left alone. Sometimes I don't feel like it. When you is without, and when you don't have, is when you're thinking of all those moments you set back on. Is there times that I feel that like, dang, I really don't want to be in the business or doing this? I do feel those ways. Hazel has grown a lot from Hazel a year ago. Hazel, when I started this channel 2020, I have grown so much. I have elevated so much, and my thought patterns is a tad different than 4 years ago. This is not concerning to anyone else. It's just 100. I'm talking about myself. Exposure. Like, how do you feel about being, other people seeing you a certain way? And honestly, my confidence has outgrown that so much. But in the same sentence, when I retire from this business, I will be going into a whole different field. So the tune is going to switch. There is nothing wrong with the business. I'm not shaming it now, and when I get out of it, I'm still not going to shame it because I believe in this very, very strongly. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. And the way my dysphoria has kicked in recent times is like, SRS is one thing that I did. At first, I don't even remember what I said at first, but I know how I felt at first. I'm like, well, I don't need it. I'll worry about that way, way in the future. Which I'm talking about like maybe 10, 15 plus years. Like, I'm like, that ain't even on the map. But like I said, I elevated and I grown into my womanhood so much that I'm like, nah, something gotta give, something gotta change. I can't suppress myself for this business. Backing out comes in that for me. I'm not suppressing it no longer. I'm not gonna stall myself from getting my operation. I don't care what other girls SRS didn't go good. Like, I ain't gonna say I don't care, but this is me, baby. I'm not focused on everyone else. Transsexual as well. And a lot of people, even that is trans, don't even really know the difference. They just say, oh, transsexual is an outdated term. No, it's not. From my understanding, it's someone that is transgender and transsexual, because not one of them is gender related, right? You want to express yourself from how you feel, the gender you feel, right? Expression can come in the way you communicate with people, your wardrobe and hair and shit like that. I don't want only just the gender expression, the body to match it as well. So I will be a transsexual woman. Honestly, all these terms really don't matter at the end of the day. It's Because you is going to be who you are. These are just labels created by society. So you don't have to go by any of it. Once I do get my operation, I'm just a woman. I'm not going to deny me being trans. No, I'm not going to ever do that. I have no problem with any of my babies, any of my girls that express themselves as titties at the top and dick at the bottom. No problem at all. You is a woman, period. But to me and myself, that's not my definition of a woman. So, do topping feel good? No, I'm not into it at all. It's never been me. It's never been me. When I was living my life as a male, that was not me. It's a good thing that my partner don't like penetration, is not into that whatsoever, and we never tried, did any of it. I'm happy about that because I don't want to do that to someone, a partner. For business, I don't even want to do that for business. And really, as much as they want it, like I said, I'm a woman of many bitch, many ways, many talents, as you want, whatever you want to say. So I don't be topping that much. I don't even remember the last time I have topped, honestly. When was it? Not saying people don't request it. It just don't happen. I don't know. Maybe because I don't push it, because I don't want it. Some of these clients be wanting you to say, oh, can you fuck me? Talk dirty to me like, oh yeah, I'm a tear that little hole up. And I don't talk like that. I wouldn't even talk like that for money. That's just not me. Like, you're not into this topping stuff, is you? I'm like, no. Gotta keep it versed when it comes to business for business. Oh, and I hope this don't come off harsh. Like I said, I'm just speaking my truth. This does not correlate to any of you guys. How men would normally, treat the biological woman. That's like the treatment that I crave and like as well. And it's really sad but true, but there is a lot of people out there that labels themselves as trans, and they're only in it for the aesthetics, the glam of it, they like the attention of it. They want to be called trannies. They want to be, I'm TS this, I'm TS that. They want that attention. Someone just happened to bring it up like, oh, TS Winter, blah, blah, blah. Then I'll entertain it like, yeah, whatever. But I don't look for that. 10 years, 20 years from now, let's see who you are then. Then that's going to really let me know if you're really in it for the aesthetics or it's just really who you are. Like, it interests you for a particular motive. Some of them said it was pressure into it. That's something too. Girls, people do pressure you into it. They'll pressure you into it, and then once you do it, then they'll start switching tunes, start trying to knock you down, trying to compete with you. Try to gatekeep everything so you don't get ahead of them. As long as you on the same level or under someone, the person will be okay. But once they see that you starting to have the potential to surpass them in any way, when it comes to confidence, beauty, looks, whatever, they start getting threatened and they start moving differently. You see it, you feel it. And that is a huge problem in the community. And I watch my back with a lot of girls. And I don't trust too many trans women at all. There's a few of them that I fool with, and I have an open mind and an open heart just for future references. But in general, I'm not looking for no TS homegirl. Oh no, you bitches can be shady, messy, competitive. I don't want no parts of that. Keep that elsewhere. Because outside of all this tranny shit, as they would say, bitch, in 20 years or less, Hazel will be out in farmland, a nice home that I own, with a man or not. And I would be living life. I would be planting flowers. I would be growing crops and shit. Just sitting down, drinking my tea, looking at the beautiful birds chirp and fly off into the sunset. So that's what I don't care about, who's more fishier, who's more passable. I don't care, because once I get out of this, honestly, when I get out this business, you guys just gonna see just like businesswoman, just Hazel just doing her thing. And I don't even know if I'm gonna speak about this shit anymore. I may talk about, you know what, a book. Me writing a book. Cause I ain't trying to like get out the business and try to erase it. I'm just moving on to the next chapter. Just like I moved on from the chapter of me working a 9 to 5. You just elevate and you move on. And once I get this, you know, them fetish men, they not gonna be interested. And I'm fine. I mean, they'll find me probably attractive and beautiful, but as far as that fantasy, I'm not in it for the fantasy, and I can't suppress and hold myself back because of that shit. I'm 4 years, I will be 4 years, and my transition November 6th, 5th or 6th, can't remember. Always time. Always been a hustler. So making money, that's gonna happen. And I'm sure, baby, if I want to, I could still make the coin, even with the vajayjay honey, because I can do that. I already done tested the theory out and everything. I can do that. But once I get that, I don't want to be, you know, getting all beat up and used up and stuff. Like, no, it's going to be just sacred. Because what's here at the moment, that shit going to be gone. So I really have at it while it's here. Aren't you scared of you won't be able to climax anymore? And transition is bigger than that to me. I knew that before I got on hormones. When I hit up that therapist and started therapy, went to my first consultation for hormone therapy, the doctor already let me know all of that, and I did my research prior. So I was already willing to sacrifice my pleasure for my womanhood, and I still will, because that's how much it means to me. And if you're not willing to sacrifice that for your womanhood, then I don't know, maybe you have to think a couple things out. But there is a lot of women, and women I have talked to personally, they like, nah, I'm not sacrificing it, because pleasure means, you know, and pleasure may mean a lot to you. Things mean different stuff to each and every one of us. Guys, it's just a random video. I don't even know how I got on this topic. I wasn't even thinking about this prior. I don't know, it just happened, right? You open your mouth, start blabbing, and stuff just boom, 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 I guess. And you know what's so crazy, you guys?